Whelan Presley and Van Ho Funeral Homes have been serving Quad City families and veterans for over 100 years. Whelan Presley is located in Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and Van Ho in East Moline, proudly supporting WQPT. Alternatives is a proud supporter of WQPT and has been serving our community for 40 years. Alternatives provides professional guidance to maintain independence and quality of life for older adults and adults with disabilities.
The mayor of Davenport wants to serve a third term. This after a year of progress and tragedy in the downtown area. The political future of Mike Matson on the Cities. Mike Matson became Davenport's 75th mayor after being elected in November of 2019. Since he's become mayor, the city has weathered the pandemic and the economic fallout afterwards. But this administration has never been tested more than this year, when walls to the downtown apartment building known as the Davenport collapsed. It killed 3 men, injured 1 woman, and displaced more than 50 people. Mayor Matson is now seeking a third 2-year term, and he joined us to talk about his re-election bid, the city's response to the building collapse, and his plans for the future. So how do you rate the city's response when it comes to the response after the collapse of the Davenport apartment building? Because that is the real test of your administration so far in this session.
So Jim, thanks for the opportunity to be here and talk with you. I believe we gave our full effort. We engaged so many different folks. We were talking to the people from Surfside in Miami. I talked with the administration in Miami-Dade, the people that were in charge, the firefighters task force, the rescue folks. We had multiple media, or I say video conversations with them on how to approach it. We engaged the state of Iowa, and the Task Force 1, as you're aware, were there Sunday night. We called all the forces to bear. And then some people, well, don't take the mayor's point. We received a letter, as you have and other folks have, from the folks that were in charge of the incident management. And they provided feedback to us, and they had done incidents all over the country for a long period of time, and said the collaboration and communication between different entities of government, especially the city and county, and bringing to bear all the different entities of rescue and coordination and structure and engineers together, in their opinion, was the best they've ever seen. So I tell folks we're never satisfied. We want to improve things we did or didn't do, but I'm happy with the response. And because outside agencies, as we do with our departments in the city, we have 6 nationally accredited departments that we purposely want outside eyes to examine and give us feedback professionally and officially on how we do business. Same there. And they gave that, and they said, we did a good job.
Well, let's take it before the collapse occurs, though, and you have building inspectors who saw that building. Is there going to be any changes in how the city inspects buildings? Is that a department that worries you? Is because of this case something has to be done?
Doesn't worry me, but certainly we got to improve what we did. I'm having conversations with the state legislators about what we can do different. Can we tighten up rules against slumlords? Do we have to change our inspection process? Because there's different levels of that. There's structure, there's health and welfare, et cetera. And our job is to make sure folks, private entities, are doing their job. And there is a debate whether we did it good enough or not. We will continue to look at that and tighten it up. But we also, I think folks know, and our job is to ensure that the owner, the people responsible for those properties, got a certified state licensed structural engineer. And that person's certified, reviewed, and then said it was structurally sound. Certainly there's a debate if that was the case, right? And I am very interested in getting we hired folks to give us an evaluation, cause and effect, what that's going to say. And then, of course, as you know, Jim, we immediately sent the investigation to someone outside of the city. I'm very interested to see what that might say or not say, right? We want outside eyes to tell us what happened. So I'm very interested to see where that is and what plan we develop with the city council to address issues we might need to address.
Well, as you know, there are now lawsuits filed against the city as well as other entities. And some people will look at it and go, okay, who's going to own the city of Davenport? Because obviously there's going to be lawsuits that have to be settled for a lot of money. How is the city prepared for these?
We have hired outside counsel, and we'll address the issues appropriately through the legal process.
What can be said as far as the cost, though, to the city and the taxpayers?
Well, we're hoping to get some of that cost back from the respective people responsible.
Yeah. Let's talk about what happened to more than 50 people that were displaced. As you well know, downtown development has been key to the progress of this city. And a good downtown requires affordable housing in the downtown area, as well as that mixture of office and entertainment.
Yes, sir.
This really was another blow to Davenport as far as housing is concerned.
So just west of the Y, the new Y area, 300 and some units going up. I and many folks find places, the old Navy station, the Call, other entities, Marycrest, etc. But the big one is the one going in next to the Y. Where can we work with developers, work with other folks to find affordable housing? Because sometimes folks will say, Mike, you need thousands of new affordable housing units. Well, nobody that I'm aware of, and I'm happy to have the conversation if somebody wants to, can build that size of a place in one thing. So we take places that are available and work with folks to do that. And we continue to do that. And then with the terrible tragedy of 324 Main, we worked with folks, both the state got some assistance, and then we, the city, said we need to provide assistance in that transition mode to folks. And we did that through monetary and others, both individuals and businesses. And we'll continue to do it. But Jim, just in the last 3 years, we've had over 400 businesses, new businesses, take out business license in the city of Davenport, 75 in the downtown. There's a waiting list for people to live in the downtown. The amount of investment, millions and millions of dollars in the downtown, that will continue to grow. That will continue to happen. This is a tragedy, but it doesn't stop what we're doing, doesn't stop the momentum. And that's why I want to continue as mayor, because I believe in safe neighborhoods, public safety, infrastructure, economic development, all of those things. Yes, the building collapse was a tragedy, and 3 people lost their lives and 1 was severely injured. That is a terrible tragedy. But we're doing so many good things. Record job creation. Each of the last 3 years, more than 1,000 new jobs, to a total of over 4,000 jobs in Davenport. Our credit rating has improved for the first time in 3 decades. Our financial situation is as good as it's ever been. Yes, we have bills to pay. I am so appreciative of the governor asking for a presidential declaration and a major declaration. And of course, our legal team is going to work to try and recover funds from the respective places because of some of the bills we've had. But because of our fiscal responsibility, we can manage this.
What do you say to those 50 people that have been displaced?
I'm sorry. And we worked with the Red Cross, worked with a lot of other entities to help in transition, and provided $6,000 ourselves from the city. Right. And the state provided, I think, $5,500. And so that is important for us to recognize that we need to help and transition and assist. And we've done that. And if people need more assistance or are not thinking they're being treated fairly, please come to us.
That building is now gone. Almost like a little bit of a scar in downtown Davenport across from the library. Have you made sure that there's other buildings that are as safe as humanly possible, because it is an ongoing process. I understand that. But you could see, even in communities throughout Iowa outside Davenport, people are taking a closer look at their buildings, their older buildings.
Yes, sir. So people immediately asked us, go check the other buildings that Mr. Waldo. We did that right away. And many news organizations have reported some people were asked not to be in those buildings. So we immediately went to his, and we're checking others. We always have done that. We've had a schedule, depending on the level of concerns, 3-year, 2-year, 1-year, inspection cycles. But we went right away to his, and there were some that are issues, and there are some that other people own that are issues. The one right next to City Hall, Executive Square. We're working with that owner to improve and do the necessary things to get people back in. But it is a process, and it is sometimes a lengthy process to get the things up to speed. But our job is to inspect and to ensure they do the work. And we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to improve that process, and certainly have discussions moving forward. And if I'm mayor, I'm committed to doing that.
One other area that you have said is so critically important, of course, is crime, and
Yes,
especially gun violence
Yes, sir.
in Davenport. You've got the group violence intervention, which was started last year.
Yes, sir.
I do want to talk about that. And I do know that for the last, I want to say 5 years, has been the FBI and the ATF actively involved as far as the tracing of the guns and processes that involve gun violence.
Yes, sir.
Are you winning the battle?
The trends are in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm, again, never satisfied and want to improve. But shootings are down almost 40% in the last couple of years, Jim. 2020 was a record, right? And
do you think 2020 was an aberration?
I don't know about aberration, but it seems to be consistent around the nation. Yep. And so we've improved. Thank you for mentioning the GVI program, the Group Violence Intervention. That started last year. We've had over 100 custom notifications, meaning going right to the person that maybe has a chance to be involved in gun violence or a victim of gun violence, and working with them. And what I love about this program is so simplistic. Law enforcement is there, and some people who talk to me, Mike, law enforcement has to be involved. Law enforcement is absolutely involved. They go right to the custom notification of the person with our community members, with our nonprofits, family resources, et cetera. And say, if you do this, if you put a gun in your hand and commit violence, all these folks, we're using every tool we have to come after you, right? And put you in a place that you're not going to like, because it is not acceptable, and we will not tolerate that. At the same time, can we work with you with some folks to help you not be involved in gun violence? Again, over 100 custom notifications of individuals, only 5 people have reoffended. That's a 95% success rate. I'm very happy. If I stay as mayor, that will stay as a focus. Same with our CAP program, Coordinated Assessment Program, working with juveniles and referrals from our schools and others. Hundreds and hundreds of referrals, again, within 24 hours for adults that are experts in case management with juveniles and their families, to try and keep them out of either stealing cars, gun violence, whatever the particular issue is, so they stay in school and do the right thing. Very happy on that program. And I'm so appreciative of all of these things. Nobody can do anything by themselves. I can't do this, but I can help lead it, right? And if I'm mayor, we will continue the focus on safe neighborhoods. We will continue the focus on gun violence and reducing it. The trends are heading in the right direction. But I'm not satisfied. We got to keep going and making sure that as best as we can, that we reduce gun violence and we ensure safe neighborhoods, so that whatever you do, Jim, and anybody you want to walk your dog, raise a family, run your business, that know that the mayor, the city council, our law enforcement community, our nonprofits, our community members are doing everything they can to help individuals not engage in gun violence. And the big piece of it is community members, people that are trusted, that are talking to them. That is working. And I recognize 4 specific individuals a few months ago, their efforts to be part of this solution, working again with our police department, with law enforcement, because it used to be law enforcement go saturate a neighborhood, go put everything in there. That just made people mad. And the old lady that has nothing to do with it is like, why are you bothering me? So now it's a very precise, strategic, surgical effort. 102,000 people, Jim, in Davenport approximately, right? We had statistical analysis from many different organizations. We have partnered with Safe Communities, John Jay University, the GVI University, all this, and had data is important. Out of the 102,000 people in Davenport, approximately 100, give or take a little bit, are engaged in this violence. Because people see, oh, there's some shootings. But if you haven't noticed, there's not been a lot of shootings, thank God, recently because some of these programs are working. But less than 100. So our focus is on those folks that are doing the violence, doing the gun violence, and if I'm mayor, we will continue that focus.
As you said, in the past, there was a great deal of police saturation in the neighborhood. And so because of that, as you know, was the ongoing St. Ambrose University study in regards to racial profiling by police and the African-American community being stopped or questioned far more often. How do you see race relations right now in Davenport? Because there has been that groundswell to have the city open its eyes wider.
So Jim, we took this on. We asked for this. I think now, and we'll see if I'm right, but I think we've done this in 3 different iterations with 3 different groups, St. Ambrose being a huge part of it. But we also, the latest one had a consulting firm out of Washington State to review traffic stops. I think we're still the only city in the state of Iowa, I could be wrong, but at least when we started it a couple years ago, but I think we're still the same. A signed agreement with our wonderful friends from the NAACP and LULAC to have frank conversations about this and review the data and then ensure the training that is needed in our police department. And what I love about our police, they welcome these things. Police department is one of our nationally accredited organizations. We welcome outside eyes. We welcome feedback and then take that and discuss what training is needed. How do we move forward? So the mature professional police department that we have and is quite frankly used by other police departments as an example of how to police. But again, we're still not satisfied. We want to do better. But our law enforcement officers in Davenport are committed to being those caring, compassionate individuals that everybody wants them to be. They are committed to this, and we are committed to having outside eyes. That's why we've done it. I don't think anybody else around here has done that, Jim. Now, what I also love is the partnership with Bettendorf and the county who are participating. But the focus is on Davenport because we're the ones that asked for it, and we're the ones that continue to strive for feedback on how we do things better. But our department leads the way on doing that.
The other linchpin to any economy, of course, is the business and business attraction. You have Amazon, which is finally coming into full gear. It's taken a little longer than the city anticipated.
A little delay, but they're hiring as we speak.
And I was going to ask you about that because that was a huge commitment by the city of Davenport. It was also a big feather in your cap, and it was kind of a coup to get them here because you had the facility. You had basically shovel ready, just like keeping Kraft here and getting Sterilite here, that industrial park on the northwest side is paying dividends. Tell me about the risks and is it worth it?
Is what worth it, Jim?
Is there always the payoff? I mean, as we're saying that Amazon is coming, but a little bit later than expected. You're still expecting the payoff.
Yes, sir. I think that was a good thing, to be honest. So you heard me talk about job creation. Amazon wasn't part of that. Those numbers I gave you, where it's 1,000 each of the last 3 years. Next year, you'll add Amazon to that. I believe that it's my job to help with opportunities. Again, working with all kinds of folks, the business community, the chamber, the school districts, our education folks, right? To bring opportunities to Davenport and the Quad City region so that people have choices on where they'd like to go. Unemployment is historically low. The amount of jobs, and now that Amazon delayed, we didn't have a huge push and an amount of open jobs last year. We stretched it out a little bit, and now Amazon coming, now we have more. We will continue to do that. I think we lead the state, in the amount of job creation and companies coming here because they know we have the foresight to set the table and the ground to make those things happen. But as you mentioned, Jim, we're pretty full in the north now. We've used all that acreage. Now we need to go west. So we're setting our infrastructure to build that out so we can entice, encourage other companies and businesses to come to Davenport in the Quad City region. We have the land, we have the staff, we have the relationships, my relationship. Again, if I'm mayor, I will continue to build upon relationships at the state level with the IDA. Ms. Durham at the state has been a wonderful partner. The governor, many of our legislatures, wonderful partners in understanding economic development and bringing companies' interest here. Many companies will come to a lot of places. They get to choose where to go, right? But you said it, they're choosing Davenport, and of course Amazon is a big one. So are many others, and so are small businesses. You heard me say, over 400 businesses, new businesses have taken out business license in Davenport in the last couple of years, 75 in downtown. That is a teamwork feather. That is not an individual feather. That is a working relationship with so many levels of government and so many people around the Quad Cities, especially our staff and the chamber working together and the business community working together to set the example that you are welcome here. And we'll continue to do that.
You brought up education and that schools are part of this. And as you know, the school system in Davenport has been trying to reorganize. It has to figure out where the population is as far as where their schools should be, what should be kept, what's outdated, what should be new. Are you worried about the concept of neighborhood schools? I appreciate the schools taking a hard look at what they do, because everybody needs to do that. We are a partner with the school district, and we have a lot of conversations on how the city goes, the schools go, the schools go, the city go. I believe in that. So I thank them for their outside of the box, a comprehensive look at all of their facilities and where can they improve. Their commitment, the best as I understand it, to improving technology, their buildings, especially at the middle school level, to take those things and make our school district a state-of-the-art facility for all kinds of different folks. We'll still have them in neighborhoods. We will still focus on making sure that where folks live, they have the ability, because some people think you move this building and you do something here. We still, and they still understand that there has to be a relationship with the neighborhood. And that's important. And how they're moving forward, in my opinion, that comprehensive look to use technology and improve that, I'm appreciative of that. We have a few moments left, so I wanted you to get a chance to explain, why do you want another term? Why do you think you deserve another term? And what's your biggest goal?
I appreciate that, Jim. If you honor me with another 2 years as Davenport's mayor, I am committed to increasing the momentum of public safety, the infrastructure. We have done a lot of good things, but we're not satisfied. My relationships that I've developed in coordination with so many other folks at the state and national level to bring millions of dollars to Davenport, whether it's to fix our infrastructure, the flood plan that nobody took on before I was mayor. Again, working with so many folks, now we have that plan with HR Green, and we're already working on some stuff. So we keep Commerce and River Drive open in the future. To reduce crime, safe neighborhoods is my focus. Reducing crime is my focus, and working with so many folks, both our Democratic senators in Illinois and our Republican senators in Iowa, our representatives, our state legislature, to ensure Davenport is a safe, stable, and welcoming community. If I'm your mayor again, that momentum, that continued job growth, job opportunities, job creation, infrastructure funding, public safety and safe neighborhoods is my focus and will continue to be my focus. So I want to continue that momentum. I'm not satisfied. Neither is our staff. I don't think the community is satisfied. But as your mayor, if I continue, that focus stays. If someone else is in there, we're starting over. And I don't think Davenport deserves a restart. I think Davenport deserves continued momentum on public safety and safe neighborhoods. And you see the commitment that we put to this, the money we put to this, the staff we put to this. Jim, we just worked with the state to hire, and as we speak, we're hiring them, 4 new positions at the 7th Judicial District, high-risk law enforcement officers, and a supervisor. And you mentioned FBI and ATF. We now have an ATF position in Davenport that we're hiring for now. We do shooting reviews with the FBI, ATF, and Marshal Service and the U.S. Attorney every week. We started that under my administration, and if I'm mayor, we will continue those things. I'm so appreciative of our police force coming together with all these entities. And that, if I continue as mayor, those relationships will expand because I'm committed to it, and so is our team. Team Davenport is leading the way in public safety, and the trends are in the right direction, but we need to keep the focus on that. And if I'm your mayor, that focus stays on safe neighborhoods. That focus stays on reducing crime. That focus stays on improving streets and infrastructure and economic development. That focus that I have as mayor will continue. And thank you for, allowing me to talk about that.
Our thanks to Mayor Mike Mattson. State Representative Ken Crokin has also filed paperwork seeking election as mayor of Davenport. We talked with Representative Crokin last month, and you can see that interview at the WQPT YouTube page or on the city's page at WQPT.org.
This is Out and About for September 8th through the 15th. It's coming up on a fun and busy weekend with loads of family fall activities. Starting with the Geneseo Art League and Gallery will be holding their Autumn Pumpkin Mosaic class on Friday, September 8th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come check out the Freight House Farmers Market in Davenport on Saturday, September 9th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's also the Geneseo Farmers Market in Geneseo from 8 a.m. to noon. The Quad Cities Toy Show will be happening in the Rock Island County Fairground on Saturday, September 9th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Music on the Mississippi with Crooked Cactus Band is on Monday, September 11th, starting at 6 p.m. The Muscatine County Extension invites you to the Science of Parenting, 2-session workshops on Monday, September 11th in Muscatine, Iowa. Enjoy painting lilies and practice different watercolor techniques with a watercolor workshop at the German American Heritage Center in Davenport on September 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On stage, catch Escape to Margaritaville at Circa 21 through the 9th. Plus, there is music at Schweibert Park on the 14th for Thursday Night Groove. If you have an upcoming event, be sure to list it at visitquadcities.com. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
On the air, on the radio, on the web, on your mobile device, and streaming on your computer. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Whelan Presley and Van Ho Funeral Homes have been serving Quad City families and veterans for over 100 years. Whelan Presley is located in Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and Van Ho in East Moline, proudly supporting WQPT. Alternatives is a proud supporter of WQPT and has been serving our community for 40 years. Alternatives provides professional guidance to maintain independence and quality of life for older adults and adults with disabilities.